Hello and welcome. As you may be aware, the Gran Turismo World Tour is currently in New York and they've hit the ground running with two fairly big pieces of news coming out of the event already. The first, which as at the time of making this video has officially been announced, is that Gran Turismo has signed an official partnership with Michelin tyres. The official Gran Turismo TV stream went live last night and began by immediately announcing the new partnership and welcoming Executive Vice President of Michelin, Scott Clark, as well as Gran Turismo's own Kazunori Yamuchi to the stage. If I'm being completely honest, it's a stream that felt more aimed at Michelin and Gran Turismo stakeholders, kicking things off fairly boastfully.
Michelin is a company that has a rich and illustrious history, having pioneered inventions including the radial tyre. And today, it has over 117,000 employees.
A few moments later.
Meanwhile, Gran Turismo is one of the best-selling racing video games in history, having sold more than 80 million units worldwide across the franchise's 22-year run, and with its latest
followed by the news we're all excited about.
Michelin is a company with a very long history, and they will have a new museum section in the brand central of Gran Turismo Sport.
Yeah, I bet we're all hanging out for that one. But I guess the most exciting thing for me was this.
Michelin, obviously, they have just massive amount of technology relating to tires, and implementing that knowledge into the physics of Gran Turismo is going to allow us to have a more realistic simulation in the game.
A more realistic simulation in the game. So it sounds like Michelin is going to have some direct input into the tyre model moving forward with the intention of making it more realistic. So this is something that is badly needed in a game that's proven for years it can't get tyre physics right. And before fanboys hit dislike, I'm not saying Gran Turismo hasn't been fun over the years, but if you've ever done an actual track day or racing in real life, or even just had a spirited drive on a country road, you'll know that Gran Turismo is a fair way off reality. It's one of the core things that makes most people consider Gran Turismo to be a simcade as opposed to a racing sim like iRacing or Assetto Corsa Competizione and R-Factor 2, etc. They have vastly different and vastly more realistic tyre physics. This partnership could genuinely be a game changer, both for good and possibly bad. People like myself who love racing sims are going to love it if the game's realism is increased. But I do acknowledge that a big part of Gran Turismo's success has been accessibility for all types of people, casual and hardcore. So it'll be interesting to see how these changes are received by the wider community. They then showed a clip of what was coming up in October, and it was full of Michelin shots, so the new tyre physics could be as soon as October. What do you think about the partnership? Do let me know in the comments. Now, the next big piece of news coming out of New York is the new track, a track that people have been waiting for, no, screaming for since the game launched, and that is, of course, the circuit of Spa-Francorchamps. Whilst this hasn't been announced officially yet, the cat is well and truly out of the bag, with pictures floating around the internet clearly showing the competitors in New York racing at Spa. Honestly, this happens every time. I just don't know why they don't announce it immediately like they did with the Michelin deal. It's not going to decrease the hype, and it puts creative control firmly back into the hands for their own announcement. Anyway, that aside, Spa is one of my favourite tracks in the world, so I'm definitely hyped for this. The only thing that remains to be seen is when we get that new track. Obviously, we saw the World Tour events racing in the rain last time out, and it's taken until next week's update to get that implemented into the game, so we might be waiting a little while. Having said that, it's much simpler to add a track than something that's heavily affects the physics, so hopefully it is going to be sooner rather than later. I want to thank you all very much for watching. If you did enjoy the video, remember to leave a like, hit subscribe, as well as turn the bell icon on so you get notified of all of my content as it happens. I look forward to watching the rest of the event from New York, and most of all, I look forward to talking to you all next time. But for now, it's goodbye.